everybody, welcome back to A Focus on Business. And today, I got a cool cat with you right here. Now, you hear the word flooring and you go, oh, everybody puts down flooring. But when you see the detailed work he does and how good it looks, this is beyond just a flooring guy. Plus, this man's got enough background into him that it goes beyond flooring. So I'm going to introduce to you Jason Cantin from Done Right FC, right?
Yes, sir.
And this man is probably, I'll start calling him the flooring guru. And that way, it just makes it easier. And I hate that word guru because everybody wants to be a guru. But when it comes to the expertise of flooring, you're the man. So tell everybody who you are.
Well, as you said, my name is Jason Cantin, and I've been doing floors here in Tampa for 22 years. It's funny you call me the flooring guru. I have a secondary business called the Flooring Guru. My inspection business. I am a certified floor inspector. So the credentials that go along with it, like I said, I've been installing floors in Tampa for 22 years. 15 of those years, I was doing it wrong. Honestly, doing it wrong. Listen, I'm self-deprecating. I know I was doing it wrong.
Right.
But that prompted me to become more knowledgeable about my craft. So that's where I'm sitting now. I've spent, I spend on average $6,000 a year continuing to educate myself because the flooring industry progresses each year. New products come out.
Yeah, it's always changing, right?
Always.
Right. Okay. New products, new ways to put them down.
Correct.
And that's a big deal knowing that, it's because you get some of these guys, I've been doing this forever and we've been doing like that for 25 years.
One of our favorite statements is, you've probably been doing it wrong for 24, right? We inspectors, there's only about, for the National Wood Flooring Association, there's 400 certified inspectors in the world.
Right.
I'm one of those 400. And we have a joke that everybody's been doing it for 20 years. Every time we inspect a floor, the installer tells us, I've been doing it like this for 20 years and never had a problem.
Right.
And I tell them, I've been speeding for 25 years and I've got a few tickets.
Yeah.
I don't get caught every time I do it wrong, right? We don't. We do things wrong and don't always
Right.
get caught.
Exactly.
So we joke that you've probably been doing it wrong for 19.
19. Yeah. See, it's same industry. When people go, well, a camera's a camera's a camera. No, camera's not a camera's a camera. It's every year something better comes out.
You mean my iPhone's not as good as the cameras we're using here?
Yeah, probably almost. but anyway, so but you're not just an installer. You are an inspector. You are the guy that come in and go, you can go, oh, that's not good right there.
So people don't even know we exist. When I say I'm a flooring inspector, I get a lost look.
I'd never heard of it. I didn't know there was such a thing.
Well, you don't know until you need it.
Right.
And the reality is, the reason I'm an inspector today is because I needed one. So about 8 years ago, I had a floor, and a customer complained about it. And I said to her, I've been doing this for 16 years. Ma'am, you don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing wrong with your floor.
Right.
And I offered to help her. I offered to fix stuff. And she's like, I don't want it. I want my floor replaced. I'm like, ma'am, your floor doesn't need to be replaced. So she hired a floor inspector, which I've been doing this for 16 years. Didn't even know there was floor inspectors. Didn't know it
existed.
So the fact that homeowners don't know doesn't surprise me. Right. So the floor inspector came out and said I had done my job wrong. And it actually made me really angry. So I did my research on this floor inspector and I said, what? You've never laid a floor in your life. You went to school and read a book, and now you're telling me how to do my job, and you're wrong. So I paid $3,800 and went to inspector school. And I walked out of there like,
oh my God,
I've been doing it wrong for 16 years.
Wow.
So I then decided I wanted to be a better installer.
Right.
And I didn't want to be an inspector. I took the class to learn what I didn't know. And ever since then, I've said it's my job to improve the flooring industry. It is my obligation to make the flooring industry a craftsman trade, not a handyman trade.
Right.
And that's kind of what it's become.
Right.
To some degree.
Yeah, because you do hear a lot of handyman that set up and go, because they're not licensed to do really anything other than they're more of a honeydew guy.
Yep.
Right. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh yeah, I lay tile and I lay flooring, and it's like, oh, okay.
And we joke. I mean, and again, as an inspector, I'm supposed to be impartial, but I'm still a human, right? So I have an opinion about things.
Right.
And I love driving around, seeing trucks with mailbox lettering on the back of their truck. drywall, paint, and flooring.
Flooring.
And it makes me chuckle. And again, I'm not saying that those guys can't do good jobs.
Right.
It's not a fact.
Right.
A lot of them can do good jobs. But the average customer spends $5,000 on a flooring project.
Yeah.
I would argue you probably want to make sure you have the right person to do that.
Right.
So, when I got out of that inspector school, I stopped installing floors for years because I said, knowing what I know now, I can't install floors correctly for what everybody's paying. And at that time, I worked for the box stores, right? The box stores, the big boxes had a set pay scale, and that's what everybody was doing.
Right.
And I stopped installing. I said, for what they're paying me, I can't do it correctly. And I'm putting my customers' money and home at risk.
Yep.
And it took me a few years, and I finally said, you know what? It can be done right. Done right. If the customer's willing to pay a little bit more. So I started doing installations at a little bit higher pay than what was being done.
Correct.
And as an inspector, I've also realized that 85% of the floor failures that I look at are avoidable.
Right.
So manufacturing failures are very limited.
Right.
Wrong installation techniques.
Isn't that amazing? It always comes down to OE.
Yep.
OE. And like a lot of guys will sit there and they'll, and like us tech guys will we'll get these phone calls from people going, hey, this is not working. I'm like, well, okay, did you do this and do this? What do you mean? Well, if you didn't do it this way and didn't do it this way, it's not going to work. They're like, oh, well, the product's bad. The product's not bad. 99% of the time, the operating system or the computer or the camera is just fine. Correct. It's always only a 1% failure, but it's 99% of the time it's an operator error.
And that goes back to what I said about these installers saying they've done it the same way for 20 years.
Right.
You can do the same thing for 20 years and be lucky.
Right.
But it doesn't make you good. The problem I think we as humans have is if we've done something before and it worked, we must think it's correct. And the reality is, again, I make the statement, and I joke, I speed every time I drive, but I don't get a ticket every time I drive.
That's right.
But if I did, I couldn't tell the cop, well, I did it yesterday, so obviously it's okay.
Exactly.
It's not okay.
Right.
I got fortunate or lucky the other times.
Now, what kind of material are you, what kind of, is it all wood? Is it carpet? Is it tile?
My statement is, and it's on my website, 85% of floors being put in Tampa are being put in wrong. And that covers all spectrums: wood, vinyl, carpet, tile, stone.
Right.
Again, 85% go in wrong, but they don't always fail.
Right.
And it's challenging for consumers. Again, we talked about this briefly, that people don't know there's such thing as a flooring inspector. You don't until you need one.
Never knew.
Right. And even when you need one, you don't know that's the case. You go back to the place you bought it from and say, I have a problem.
That's correct.
And they're vested in not solving the problem.
Right.
In many cases. I won't speak of every company.
Right,
Obviously, there's many of good people out there.
Right.
But doing it right from the beginning includes proper point of sale.
Right.
And proper installation. And I say that not every flooring is designed for every house. And a lot of salespeople are commission only.
Right.
So their job is to sell a floor. They don't care what floor.
Right.
So if you come in and say, I want X, and this salesperson knows that's not right for you, they're not going to fight with you and try and push you to something else. They're going to try and sell you what you want.
Right.
Because it's an easier sale.
And some of the questions they probably should be asking is, where do you live? Because that's a big deal, whether you're near salt water, you're inland, you're near sand, you're all dirt.
Is it on concrete? Is it on plywood?
Right.
Do you have a crawl space? Are you second floor? Are you third? Do you have kids? Do you have pets? I mean, what temperature do you like to keep your house? Do you open your doors and windows when it's nice out?
Right.
The National Wood Flooring Association is who I'm certified with for wood inspections.
Correct.
They have a checklist that is 65 questions long.
Whoa.
That should be being gone through with clients before we sell flooring. And not all that is questions the homeowner has to answer.
Right.
But when we go out to measure, I'm supposed to look at the house and say, are there gutters in place? Are there sprinklers aimed correctly? Are they aimed at the house? Does the yard drain away 1/2 inch per foot away from the structure of the home? These are just some examples. I mean,
I would have never known that was questions that had been dealt with flooring.
For wood flooring specifically, because wood flooring shrinks and swells with the addition and subtraction of moisture. It's called hygroscopic. And in Florida, well, we deal with a lot of humidity.
A lot of humidity.
Our ground moisture is extremely high.
Correct.
So if the yard is drained, is sloped towards the house, water, when runoff, will be coming up against the side of that house. And cement is kind of like a sponge. It takes moisture in, and it can pass it off to the floor, creating issues on the perimeter of floors. So again,
wow,
it's not an issue in every house, but it's things that we need to be aware of. And it applies. I mean, I've seen moisture issues with tile. I've seen moisture issues with carpet. I've seen moisture issues with vinyl. They all manifest a little differently. But the good thing about me being an inspector is I see problems before the industry knows there's problems, right? I'm out there looking at failures and determining what caused them before people know that there's failures in product lines.
Correct. Okay. That's, and you know, I would have never known. I mean, I know there was some questions to ask because I mean, I come from a long line of carpet mill people, in Dalton. So I know the carpet side. So the carpet questions are like, you know, where do you live? You know, is it sandy outside? Is it, do you first floor, second floor, blah blah blah. But never would I have thought of, does it drain away? You know, what kind of, that as a sprinkler's aimed right?
One of the things too, this is always amazes me is, you know, we like to have planters out front of our house where we put blocks out and we build the planters
make it look
up.
all pretty.
The National Wood Flooring Association says that if soil is 3 inches up the block of the house, which, you know, you got 3 blocks high, you got 9, 12 inches.
Right.
The room inside is considered a basement. Who thought we had basements in Florida?
I would have never thought of that.
Nobody would have. But if the soil is 3 inches up the block, that is holding water against the perimeter of that house. Whenever we have rain, whenever the sprinklers run.
And the concrete's wicking it all in.
And it's the wicket in. So, again, it doesn't pertain to every job. But this is the stuff that salespeople need to be investigating.
Right.
A lot of companies just send measuring services out. They don't, the salesperson never goes and looks at the house.
Right.
So, again, I'm not here to scare people and tell them that, but the reality is I still believe to this day that 85% of floors are being installed wrong, and that the floors that fail are avoidable 90% of the time if it is done right from start to finish.
So done right. So when we come back after these messages, we're actually going to talk about the state of the flooring industry and why is it being done wrong and why it can be done to be done right. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Okay, we're back. And you know, sometimes I really should record what we talk about between segments, because I'm looking at my notes going, oh, that could be an extra segment just by itself. So here's the thing. Let's talk about the state of the flooring industry, okay? Because it really has changed to a point where I remember, and this is again what we talked about, it used to be to have wood in your house. Whew. I mean, unless the house was built plank and blah, 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 and sanded down and maintained, but to have wood put back in your home, you had to be a rich dude.
You did.
And now you don't. Yep. So what's going on with this?
Well, I mean, in the 70s, 80s and past, we put carpet and vinyl is what went into houses. When you built a new house, it was carpet and vinyl in wet areas. And then wealthy people, or even middle-income people, could afford wood for specific areas. And the industry said, wow, there's money to be made. Why are we just selling the inexpensive stuff?
Right.
So the industry went to less expensive production methods to get into the market. And it started, honestly, with the big boxes. They would go overseas and import private labeled Far East products. They aren't held to the same standard as American-made products.
Correct.
And our government doesn't regulate them when they come into the country like the American companies are held to. That's sort of changed. I mean, we just had a tariff put on, a 10% tariff put on imported flooring from the Far East, specifically from China. And if the trade deal doesn't get better, there's going to be another 15% put on it on January 1st. So the goal there was to put some of those imports on the same playing field. And it's not just color. Most of my customers are looking at color, and I can get the same color made in China as I can in Germany, as I can in Florida. But it's the quality of the construction, right? So in Florida, we use a lot of engineered wood floors, which means they're built like plywood. They have layers.
Right.
And the reason for that is so they can handle our moisture better.
Correct.
Solid wood handles moisture poorly. Engineered wood handles it better. So the quality of the core, the quality of the construction makes a big difference to the end performance of the floor.
Okay.
And then the way you get the veneer or the top piece. So if you want walnut, a lot of companies rotary peel it, which is awesome because they take a log and they put it on a lathe and they spin a blade on it and cut a really thin sheet so they can use the whole log.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
It's called a rotary peeled veneer, and it's typically a thin veneer.
Okay.
And you lose less lumber. It is the least expensive way to produce a floor. And again, nothing wrong with inexpensive. But if you compound that with poor quality of the core, with poor other things, it becomes a problem.
Right.
So the state of the industry is that we've driven it down to the bottom. I call it a race to the bottom.
Right.
Which manufacturer can get the cheapest product out there?
Right.
And then which retailer can get the cheapest installer?
Oh, okay.
So then you compound less quality products with less quality install, and you're asking for trouble, in my opinion.
Right.
So the industry's come a long way. There's some really great products, but what's being sold, the majority is the entry-level stuff.
Okay.
And that's on the wood side. We've got a whole new segment of flooring called LVPs, or luxury vinyl planks. That's been around for about 5 years. It is being sold as the answer to all your flooring needs.
So there's water, dirt,
handles,
dogs, animals.
Doesn't scratch. When it first came out, it was really great. It was pure virgin vinyl, which handled moisture extremely well. What it didn't handle was floor prep issues. So if your floor had undulations in it,
right,
it contoured to those so you could see uneven substrate. So they went back to the drawing board and reinvented it with a rigid core. And now you've got a pure virgin layer vinyl on a wood composite core. A wood composite can be moisture sensitive.
They'll say that'll swell, unswell.
Well, the manufacturers say it doesn't. Interestingly enough, as a floor inspector, it's 45% of my inspection business. I look at these floors failing due to moisture.
Right.
The manufacturers say it's absolutely not moisture. Moisture can't do that. Well, what does do it? So they've reinvented it again with a stone composite core, which they say is an answer. That's relatively new, so I don't have an answer on that yet. But the industry is trying to find new ways to get flooring to a price point. And the advantage is our printers and our skills have gotten so much better. These vinyl plank floors look amazing because the ability of the laser printers to replicate a real wood floor is amazing.
Yeah.
Not the same as a real wood floor.
Right.
I joke, listen, we've got tile that's been on the ground in Rome and Greece for 2,000 years and hasn't failed.
Right, exactly.
We've got wood floors that have been down for hundreds of years and haven't failed. Those flooring segments are tried and true. And then carpet as well, we've been using that for a long time. We keep inventing new products. I mean, bamboo was all the rage a couple years ago. That's kind of faded away, and there's only a few places that even sell that.
Right.
Because of the issues we inspectors saw with it.
Right.
And then the public finally caught on.
Right.
So the industry is in a race to the bottom to make a least expensive product with the least. In fact, they're even trying to make installation easier. The do-it-yourself market has killed us.
I was going to say.
It really
That's
has.
where I was going to go. All these do-it-yourself guys are just killing you.
HGTV, all these things, they're great. And there's a place for that. And there's plenty of homeowners who are skilled enough to do some of these floors on their own.
Correct.
But the average floor cannot be installed by the average person. It is a skilled trade.
Right.
And so installation techniques have gotten easier. Laminate, we used to have to glue it together. We called it T&G or tongue and groove glue.
Right.
Well, they invented a lock, so now you don't have to glue it. You don't have to have any skill with the glue. You can just click them together.
Okay.
A company just came out with a carpet that doesn't need to be stretched.
I didn't know that was...
It's new this year. A carpet that doesn't need to be stretched.
Okay.
So the do-it-yourselfers can do this.
Is it heavy?
It's thick.
Okay.
So it can't wrinkle, and there's some benefits to that.
Yep.
The newest one is, and it's coming out this quarter, is magnetic flooring. So anybody can do this. You roll out a pad that has a magnet in it.
Okay.
And then your flooring has a magnetic backing, and you stick it to the magnet. So if there's a problem, you just take a suction cup and pull your board up, or piece, vinyl, carpet.
Not made for people with pacemakers, right?
Well, so I have a disabled daughter who has a hearing aid, a cochlear implant, and that's a magnet. And I've asked them, how does this impact? Well, it's such a low level of magnitude that it won't impact anything. And phones and credit cards all have access. They say that it's such a low level of magnetism, it'll last 20 years without a problem, and it doesn't impact anything else. When we were talking before the show about make a story, sell something.
Yeah.
It is that product is specifically designed for the do-it-yourself market. It's specifically designed so that anybody can install a floor now. But what it doesn't take into account is getting that floor flat, right? Because that roll is going to follow whatever the concrete does.
Correct.
So yes, anybody can roll out a pad and anybody can stick something on a magnet. My 9-year-old daughter with disabilities could probably do that.
Right.
But there's other things to consider: moisture, humidity, growth and shrink and swell, expansion space, floor flatness, moisture. So the state of the industry is trying to make it simple, and the problem with that is it's degraded the value of the installer. The installer isn't considered a craftsman anymore; it's a handyman.
Right.
And again, not degrading handyman; they serve a great purpose and they do many great things.
Right. Exactly.
But flooring is a trade and it's a skill, and it requires practice and education. And we call it the dumbing down of the industry.
Boy, I've lived it. I get it.
And it's not just flooring; it's everywhere. But my concern is flooring.
Yeah.
That's it. I feel like customers are getting a disservice from these retailers and these installers who have dumbed our industry down so much that homeowners don't hold value in the skill it takes to do the job correctly.
Yeah, I've literally talked to people who had brand new carpet come in, and they're like, wow, they were in and out in a day, and they did 4 rooms, and I'm like, there's no way. I said, how much stretching did they do? What do you mean? I said, they had to kick the carpet. They had to put it on one side, pull it to the other, and then they had to kick it to stretch it to hit the tacking. Like, well, they didn't do that. Yeah. I'm like, okay, so in a year when you're walking across and you see buckles.
And your warranty's gone because most companies give a 1-year warranty.
Right.
You're going to pay to have your carpet re-stretched. Re-stretch is a generic term if they never stretched it in the first place.
Right.
I'll tell you this. I had a guy come in yesterday to my store.
That's a skill.
It requires knowledge and experience. I had a guy come in yesterday. He wants to install backsplashes for me, and I asked him about his process, and he had the wrong process down, and he said, "But Jason, I can do 3 backsplashes in a day."
But if they're done wrong, who cares?
Me. I could do 10 if I wanted to. It's not about speed, and that's part of the issue too. Is we've convinced homeowners that this stuff can be done quickly, and doing it right, having it done right, takes time.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying months. I'm not saying weeks. It depends on the job. But if the homeowner's goal is to get it done quickly, they're probably not going to get it done correctly.
Exactly.
And
Well, remember the old triangle?
yep,
The triangle, quality,
price,
and speed.
Yep.
So if,
you can pick two.
yeah, you can't have all three.
You can't pick all three.
Unless you're paying billions of dollars.
Yeah, but again,
and-
price was in there, right?
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
can't, right?
No,
So
exactly.
It's price versus quality versus speed, and you can pick two.
Yep.
And again, it's a challenge for those of us that are trying to do things correctly, because it's a fight we have with consumers that
Right.
they have been brainwashed to believe it's easy. I mean, if you go into one of these box stores and the person selling you flooring tells you stuff, you have no reason to doubt them.
Nope.
The training they have is for that store and not specific to our industry.
Correct.
And that's the challenge. I have to reprogram all of my customers to
How to
understand.
think the right way.
Correct.
Yeah.
And again, I don't get as many jobs as I would like because of my price and but also because customers don't believe me.
They think you're trying to pull something
They
over
think I'm
on
trying
them.
to upcharge them when X person can do it for this price and you're $2,000 more.
Right.
Well, obviously you're just ripping me off.
Yep. Boy, you talking about been there. Okay, so we get back. We're gonna go another commercial break because I got to pay for all this wonderful stuff that we do. We're gonna talk about types of flooring.
Perfect.
And you'd be amazed that we touched on a little bit right now just from the quality side, but the type of flooring is absolutely amazing out there that's out there on the market today, and what you should and shouldn't get, should
Yep.
and should not be putting in your homes. Because again, there's a 65. Who knew? Who knew there was a 65 question point questionnaire you got to answer to get flooring? So we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Go get some coffee and come back because you're gonna really want to hear this. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Dr. B because it is fun.
It's a very cool place where I can play and have fun while I make my turn.
And I can watch my favorite shows on the ceiling TV while they clean my teeth.
Mom loves it because she says that they explain everything and give her the best choices.
And they also teach us how to take care of our teeth.
At Dr. B Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the individuality of each child and offer an exceptional and gentle dental care experience for all children. With our laser procedures, we are able to provide gentler treatments and faster healing time. Call us now to make an appointment.
And the best part is when we are done, we get a Choco Fumble treasure tower.
Call Dr. B's Pediatric Dentistry today.
Okay, we're back. And we're going to talk about types of flooring because if you look at the wall behind us, only one person's ever come in here and said, you know, that's really good use of old flooring. I'm like, he knew. You knew that I used old flooring, but that, you know, that's a great way to recycle.
Recycling.
Exactly. Sure. So now I know let me see if I get this right. There's carpet, there's tile, there's wood, there's laminate. There's Trazo, but we're not going to talk about Trazo because that's really not a big thing. It is in the Greek world, but it's not in this world. And stone,
and vinyl, and even within those, there's segments.
Yeah, I mean, because you can talk about wood, and then there's different types of wood, carpet, and there's different. I know more about carpet than I want to know ever. First vehicle I ever drove was a pick.
Huh.
Ever.
Well, that's because you grew up in Dalton. That's the carpet capital of the U.S.
I mean, it was...
Actually, they say the world.
Yeah, they say the world. Didn't really. Yeah, but so, okay, let's talk about flooring.
Okay.
Types of flooring, too.
Well, so you listed the major categories, and then within those categories, there's subcategories. So I'll just list a few for examples.
Right.
Like tile, there's ceramic tile and porcelain tile. And then there's also stone, natural stone, travertine, slate, marble,
glass.
Granite. Glass.
Aren't they recycling? Okay.
Yeah. So within tile, and again, stone isn't sort of in that category.
Okay.
Within wood, there's engineered wood and solid wood. And then within wood, there's different species of wood, right? Red oak, white oak, walnut, hickory, cherry. So all those things do different things. And then within carpet, I mean, generically, there's Berber and cut pile, and there's commercial carpet like you have on your floor in here.
Yeah, don't look at the floor here, please. I'm almost embarrassed to have him here. It's not good.
That's pretty normal for commercial. Within vinyl, there's sheet vinyl, there's vinyl plank, there's glue down vinyl. So there's lots of different categories. And what's hot right now is porcelain plank, which is tile that looks like wood.
Oh, so you get the durability.
You get the benefits of tile. You know, you were talking about the terrazzo being cold. Well, tile is nice on your feet. If it's hot, it keeps cool and potentially even lowers your electric bill because it does keep the house a little bit cooler.
Right.
So it's tile that looks like wood, and they come in different sizes, 6-inch by 24-inch. I mean, I've got some that are 9-inch by 48, even longer.
Wow.
And great products. They're tile, which is durable. But again, you know, we talk about installation being done right. You know, for years, and this goes back to our conversation about been doing this for 20 years. You know, tile setters have been doing it for 20 years. We were doing 8x8s and 12x12 square tiles.
Right.
And we were only doing them in kitchens, laundry rooms, and bathrooms. And now we're doing whole houses, like wall to wall, 2,500 square feet of porcelain plank. And floor flatness matters. You know,
as I'll say now, because we all know that when these guys lay these foundations and they get the concrete floors, they're not the most perfect things in the world. So if you're putting something that's rigid and you got holes, are you having to put down thin set or?
Well, and that's part of it.
So there's way more.
So much more.
Oh, wow.
So the concrete industry is supposed to give us a slab that is flat to within 1/4 inch in 10 feet.
Oh, okay.
So that's a rule that they have when they turn a building over to other trades. If you get that, you're blessed.
Yeah.
So the tile industry has a minimum standard, typically of 1/4 inch in 6 or 1/8 in 6. So we have to get the floor flatter than what we're given. And there's 2 ways to do that. The simple way is if you've got high spots, we call them bellies, right? So if your concrete does this, you can grind the high spots off. But that can create a lot of dust. I mean, you've got to have the right equipment.
Yeah.
I mean, my guys use vacuums and HEPA filters, and we grind relatively clean. The other thing to do is patch. So if you've got a bird bath, which is a low spot, you might have to bring that up. And in most cases, we do some of both. We grind a little bit, patch a little bit, and get us to within that tolerance. But you just said, and it made me cringe, what most installers think, well, I'll just use extra thin set.
Thin set, right. That's a word that gets thrown around when people are laying floors. Like, oh,
thin set is what we use to bond tile to concrete or substrates. But it's not designed to be used to fill a 1/2 inch void. Because thin set shrinks as it dries. We mix thin set with water, and as it dries, it has a shrink ratio.
Okay.
So what can happen is that thin set can shrink away and debond from the tile, which leaves you hollow spots.
Okay. And that's a little dark noises when you hit the tile. Got it.
So that could be one cause. It can cause tiles to debond. If it shrinks enough and that whole tile's not bonded, it can pop up.
Oh.
So the key is to get the floor flat before you set your flooring. And this goes for all flooring, but we're talking specifically tile. And the issue is most salespeople don't know how to sell floor prep, right? So you come in, you say, I want this tile and I want it installed in this many feet. Well, I can figure the math out. The tile costs $3. My labor is $7. The thin set is this. This is what it's going to cost. Oh, you need me to remove your furniture. You need me to take up your carpet. I can calculate all those things.
Right.
What I can't calculate is how much floor prep I need to do because I can't see it till the carpet comes up.
Correct.
So I'm real clear in my contracts that this job will require floor prep. It could be anywhere from $1. My most recent customer was $7,000 to get her floor flat.
Wow.
Her floor was 3/4 of an inch in 6 feet.
Wow.
It was a new construction home, and the homeowner got the builder to contribute. The builder paid half of that.
Oh, good.
And I helped her facilitate that. The builder said they weren't going to do anything, and
Right.
I went to bat for her with the
Right,
builder and got them to contribute. So that's an extreme example, but it's the reality.
But that's reality.
It has to be done. If you want your floor to last a lifetime, it starts at the foundation. It starts at what we're attaching to.
Well, you can't build a house without a good foundation.
You cannot.
Can't do a floor without a good foundation.
That's right.
Okay.
So what happens is the installer gets sent out to the job and he calls the salesperson and says, listen, we got $1,000 in floor prep. And the store says, oh, the customer's never going to pay that. Just do the best you can.
Oh.
And the installer is beholden to them because if that installer doesn't do it and walks off the job, he's not going to get a job again.
Right.
So he does the best he can with what he's given.
Right.
And that can lead to issues. That doesn't happen with us. If the homeowner says, if I tell the homeowner I got a $2,500 floor prep bill and they're like, I don't have it, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah, sorry can't move on.
I can't help you because I give in writing a 5-year warranty on everything that I install. And that requires that I do it right from the beginning.
Right.
And I prep my customers, as I said, that floor prep matters. But the floor prep is the same. It's different standards for different types of floors. So the industry for wood is 1/8 inch in 6 feet or 3/16 in 10.
Okay.
Meaning the floor has to be flat to within 1/8 of an inch in 6 feet or
Right.
3/16 of an inch in 10. But a lot of them also call for no more than 1/8 in 3 feet. Meaning you could have a drop off, like if something happened, a slab shifted. You've got to address it. It's not just the big picture. So all of the different types of flooring, carpet, wood, or carpet gets put over everything and hides everything.
Yeah, because you get different pads and
correct.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but all of them, all of the rigid floors, vinyl, wood, tile, stone, vinyl. Did I say vinyl? Laminate. All have standards.
Okay.
And they all serve a purpose, right? So I'm not personally a fan of laminate, but there are plenty of applications that is the right choice.
Right.
Right. So part of my struggle with homeowners is they want X, but they need Z.
Z, right.
And convincing them that X isn't the right choice for them, sometimes is a challenge. But that's where I'm different than salespeople. I'm not just going to sell you what you want because you want it. I'm going to do my best to convince you that this is the reason Z is better for you.
Right.
Based on your lifestyle, your habits. A lot of people put wood floors in their house, and then in November, they like to open the doors and windows when it's 68 degrees outside.
It's beautiful outside.
Gorgeous. 68 degrees, 80% humidity.
Not good for floors.
Humidity is water. Humidity can impact wood floors, laminate floors. So
Right.
this is part of that questionnaire, is understanding a customer's lifestyle and matching the floor for their lifestyle, not a color. Customers come in and say, I want white floors because that's popular. Okay, well, I've got big dogs that shed black fur. Well, maybe white's not the right thing. But beyond that, maybe wood isn't the right thing because you got big dogs. Maybe we need to look at something else.
Right.
So most people sell based on color and matching wall colors or cabinets. That's fine. I'm not an interior decorator.
Right.
We were talking, I don't consider myself a salesperson. My job is to educate the consumer about the pros and cons of different styles of flooring and let them make the decision that's best for them.
Right.
And sometimes that means I'm not willing to do the work.
Right.
The decision they're making isn't the right flooring for their lifestyle.
Right. Okay. Wow.
You don't know because you've been convinced by commercials on TV
Oh,
that
yeah,
say, buy a
TV.
floor today, get it installed tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll
How
just
can they
show up
do
and
that?
put it all down and we're done.
And so we've been brainwashed by marketing that it's simple and there's not a lot to it. And you don't have to be inconvenienced. I am here to tell you, if you're putting flooring in your house, you're going to be inconvenienced.
Right.
Period. But it'll be worth it when it's done.
Right. Yeah, I've got, I think I told you over the break, the floors that we have, we're supposed to be these end alls. And last year's hurricane, people brought coolers in, ruined the floor.
The condensation.
And then we open up the right in front of the refrigerator. Well, every now and then a spill happens out of the water thing, that's ruined.
Yep.
So it's like, can't fix it because it's not wood.
The other key is warranties, right? So we talk about, different products have different warranties, but even within product segments, manufacturers have their own warranties, right? So, for example, I just went and looked at a job where the manufacturer gives a lifetime warranty, and the homeowner heard that and fell in love. I want a lifetime warranty. Well, what does that warranty cover? Oh, it only covers that the floor will not delaminate. No warranty against the finish wearing off. It's a lifetime warranty. That's all they heard.
Just won't delaminate.
But it won't delaminate. Well, delamination is so rare,
right?
That's not. But it's that story. The salesperson said this product has a lifetime warranty, and nobody asked the question, what does that warranty cover? We talked about your floor.
Yeah.
There's floors that are waterproof, but says not to wet mop them. So they void their warranty on their waterproof floor by wet mopping it.
Wow.
This is so convoluted, and you need somebody that's an advocate for you as a consumer in your corner that understands the pros and cons.
Right.
At my store, I have all kinds of flooring, but I don't have every flooring. There are manufacturers and products that I am not comfortable selling or backing because I don't feel like the companies back their products.
Okay, so this brings us to the biggest thing. And then we come back, our next segment is going to be this, because you can get all this flooring and you can get all this stuff, you can get all these warranties, but if it's not installed right, it doesn't matter. So anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about the installation. That'll be our final segment because that is a very, very, very big deal. You guys stay tuned and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
All right, we're back. And of course, we're going to talk about the most important part of flooring. It's not the type of flooring. It's not the whether it's tile or carpet, or you're going to get it in a day, or it's got a lifetime warranty. This is the absolute most important part. And so, Jason, installation.
Well, installation, we've kind of touched on it through all these segments, a little bit how important it is, and you hit the nail on the head. It is the most important piece of this. You can take the least expensive flooring and install it correctly, and it'll get you a good performance. You can take the most expensive flooring and install it incorrectly, and it's going to give you a problem. So installation is the key part, and that's the human part, right? It's the piece that we deal with. The challenge in our market is, and I kind of cover 3 counties, Pinellas, Pasco, and Hillsborough County. And we're going to talk specifically for wood here, because that's my specialty. Wood is my thing. Hillsborough County has no license requirement for wood floor installers.
Wait a minute. You mean anybody can be an installer for?
You can be a flooring installer tomorrow if you have $400. A wood floor installer.
You don't want me installing. Just saying.
Well, and it's even better in Pasco and Pinellas because the license that they require is a trim carpenter's license. So you have to tell them, you have to show them that you know how to hang crown molding, doors and windows, and baseboard, and then you can install floors. That's Pinellas and Pasco County.
Wow.
So the flooring license isn't even a flooring license. It has nothing to do with it. So one of the things we've done right is I only hire certified installers. And what that means is they have gone to school and shown their proficiency at doing things correctly. The National Wood Flooring Association is the governing body for wood floors. Okay. And they have certification programs. And those programs require that you answer a 110-question written test. You would think it's a hands-on job. Why do you need? Because there's technical things about crawl spaces we need to know. And, we talked about earlier about the soil being up the side of the building, that room's a basement. That all needs to be understood by the installer. Because if the salesperson sells it wrong, the installer should still be able to stop the job if he goes to that house and sees stuff that the salesperson missed.
Okay.
Right? So my guys are all certified. They passed the 110-question test. They physically had to show that they knew how to lay out, nail down floors, glue down floors, floating floors. They knew how to do a board replacement because sometimes boards get scratched.
Right.
You got to know how to cut a board out of the middle of a floor and replace it. Well, my guys know how to do that.
Okay.
So if you go to my website and look at our floors and look at some of the pictures of my floors, we did some really gorgeous custom things.
Right.
Well, obviously, if we're capable of doing that, we can do the easy stuff. Right. That's not the deal. But the installation is a process. It's not as simple. We talked in the previous segment about getting the floor flat.
Right.
There's also keys about using the right adhesives and the right setting materials and understanding the change that occurs to a floor, whether it should be acclimated in the home or not. Get it comfortable to the environment. We talked about wood being moisture sensitive. So if you add water to it, it swells, and water is humidity. And if you take water out of it, it shrinks. So we need to know these things, and we want to have it in the house, living in that environment for several days.
Right.
Minimum 3 before we install a
So you'll actually set it in the home.
We take it in the home. I have customers tell me, oh, my wood's acclimating. Oh, where's it at? In the garage.
No,
it's not. Acclimating means it's in the environment it's going to live in.
Right.
Which means air conditioning or heating, whatever that situation is. That customizes that floor to your living environment. And we can acclimate it to hot conditions. We acclimate floors. We can acclimate it to 90 degrees. If that's the way you live in your house year round, we can do that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I don't want to put a floor that I've acclimated to 60 degrees in a house that's 90 degrees because it's going to swell. So it's key. This is all part of that process. And then one of the things I also do is all of my setting materials, all my installation products are one company. My patch is one company. My sealer for doing concrete is one company. My glue is one company. That way, if there is an issue with manufacturing, we talked, it doesn't happen often.
Right.
There's none of this.
Right.
A lot of companies say, well, this patch is cheaper, so I'll buy this patch, and this glue is cheaper, so I'll buy this glue. And then you have Mapei glue with Ardex patch, and there's a problem, and Mapei and Ardex are like,
right.
Not my problem.
Yeah, that's that guy's fault.
Call him.
Yeah.
So, it's simple stuff like that we utilize certified installers. We use all the same products to make the installation have the best chance of being successful.
Okay.
And we can do everything right, but you, the homeowner, can screw it up.
Right.
Right. If you do things that are not right, if you open your windows when we've said that this floor can't handle that. One of the things I do is I provide a data logger with my floors. And what that does is 5 times a day it reads the temperature and humidity in the house. Because my contract tells the homeowner, you must keep this house for wood floors between 60 and 80 degrees and 30 and 55% humidity, 24/7, 365. If you don't, it could void your warranty.
Wow.
So that's in my contract. That's the National Wood Flooring Association standard. It's not my standard. That's the wood flooring industry. Well, my customers get a data logger that reads 5 times a day the temperature and humidity.
Huh.
If it gets out of that spec, I get a text message.
Right.
And then I can call the customer and say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but your humidity's high. Oh, Jason, I meant to tell you my air conditioner broke. Oh, well, you better get that fixed. Right. So it's a service that I offer. I mean, it helps protect me as a retailer.
Correct.
But it also provides comfort for the customer that, hey, maybe they're out of town and their air goes off.
Or what happens if they get like last year? We were without power for a week.
Yep. It could impact your floors.
So that could impact my flooring.
And not even just wood, it could impact tile floors because moisture moves due to changes in environment.
Right.
Tile's not affected by moisture, but grout can be.
Right.
So, the wood flooring industry requires that all concrete slabs be moisture tested prior to installation. And a moisture test isn't taking a meter and sticking it on the floor. A moisture test means you drill a hole in the floor, you put a digital probe in there, and you leave it for 24 hours.
Right.
I do that on my tile jobs because the tile industry doesn't require it, but moisture can impact a tile job.
Wow.
So I moisture test all of my jobs. That's the first part of the installation process, is to prior to the install, understand the environment and the condition that's going in.
Okay. I would have never thought of. I never even know you had to acclimate your wood.
It's funny. I have customers, and the irony is, again, this is what we talked about, is that manufacturers can do and say whatever they want. They come up with a story and they sell what they sell. There are products that say this product doesn't need to be acclimated. And again, it goes back to that do-it-yourself attitude. Well, if this product doesn't need to be acclimated, I can install it today. I can buy it at this store, take it home and install it. Well, I can sell more product. If the wood is sensitive to moisture, it needs to be acclimated. Period. A change in moisture, I'm not saying it needs to sit in your house for 3 days, but if it's sitting outside at a store and you bring it inside, it's going to change dimensions. If it's inside of a box store, what are their conditions? What's the climate in there? Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not saying your floor is going to fail if you don't acclimate it. I don't want to,
but it's a good idea to.
But why take the risk?
Right, just do it.
Why expose yourself to that risk?
Right.
Why hire unlicensed or uncertified installers? Why buy products that you don't understand the warranty of? Why deal with companies that don't understand what they're providing to their customers? I have watched flooring companies walk away from jobs that are their fault and leave customers on the hooks for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 to replace a floor because it's outside of their 1-year warranty. It is a sad state of affairs. And I said from the beginning, my job as a floor inspector is to improve the industry. And I do that one job at a time, as an installer. I'm the only person that I know in the state of Florida that is a certified floor inspector that has a retail flooring store.
Yeah, I have never heard of. I didn't even know there was a flooring inspector, for goodness sake. So that's where I'm at.
Thing. That means you never needed one.
No,
right?
I've never had to have that call.
But there's value there. I every week I go look at 5 failed floors.
Wow.
5 in the Tampa market. And I'm not the only inspector in the Tampa market. There are other inspectors. Unfortunately, just like my retail flooring store, I'm not the least expensive inspector.
Right.
But it's because I do it right.
Right,
when I inspect a floor.
Well, you get what you pay for.
That's the key, right? I joke with people all the time. Listen, you can have a Bugatti or a Ferrari, or you can have a Ford. They don't perform the same. I'm not saying the Ford's not a great vehicle. It is. But I don't expect that Ford to do the same thing
as
that
a
the
Ferrari.
Ferrari's going to do.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with your floor, and it's the same thing with your floor retailer, and it's the same thing with your installation.
Wow. Okay. So with all that being said, and I know we've hit you guys with a lot today, and I've actually, for the first time in a long time, I've actually learned something.
Awesome.
I've actually learned something. So some other stuff I've heard, but this I actually learned. So where do people find you? Where are you located? And what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, so I have a website. It's Done Right FC.
Right.
That there's a lot of information there.
There it is right there.
Yep. Gorgeous website. Check it out. There's lots of things there, that information. I have a blog post that I keep up there, so I write articles.
Oh, see there? Now, see, Mama Tech at home, that can't be done. No walking barefooted.
No.
Gotta have socks on.
Yep.
You get in trouble for that.
Your oil streaks, though, the oil in our skin will leave streaks on shiny floors.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, she's tough. Anyway.
My store is located at 6028 West Linebaugh Avenue. It's a 5,000 square foot retail space.
Wow.
You're welcome to come in, walk through the floors. I will we can have the same whole hour-long conversation about your home in my store. I offer free consultations in my store.
Right.
I will talk to you, and even if you don't buy from me, I'm happy to talk to you and help you get pointed in the right direction.
So you actually do consulting.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Absolutely. I get hired by people to go out and look at their floors and tell them where they need to go that don't buy from me.
Wow.
The whole thing that I'm trying to do is improve the industry.
Right.
And I can do that by installing floors, but I can also do that by offering advice.
Okay.
So the website's great. My email's on the website. It's jason@donerightfc.com. I'm happy to respond to those. If you come by the store, you'll get my business card. It's got my cell phone on it. I respond to text messages.
Wow.
I'm not the normal business owner. Of course, I want to make money. I have a wife and 2 kids I want to take care of.
Yep, I've been there.
I believe that the way to do that is to do things correctly.
Do it done right.
Done right.
If it's done right, you don't have to worry about it.
I don't lose sleep. I'm not joking. I used to lose sleep over some of these installs because I knew I was cutting corners before I knew that I was doing it wrong.
There's a new movie out that's about going to space.
Oh, yeah.
Right? If we're going to fail, we're going to fail down here, so we don't fail up there. Well, you've gone through the fail. So with that being said, let's go back to a wide shot here. I want to make sure everybody knows, see, Mr. Jason, if you're going to get flooring, even if you're started it, stop. And you need to go and talk to this man to make sure that what you've done or what you're doing is being done the correct way. So that way, he'll put you on the right track, or he'll give you his blessing going, you know what? The guy's smart. He knows what he's doing. Good job. If not, then you use this man. Because I'm going to have him come to the house and say, can you fix this, this, and this? Because I messed up. So that is today's Focus on Business. And we will see you guys next week. Be safe and be kind to everybody. And we will talk to everybody later.